Yo, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing the serious issues that I have found in Fortnite. So, again, before this video does get started, a little disclaimer. Since people love to bitch about me using FaZe Replay's gameplay in the last video, here you go. Here's my gameplay. Dropping a 30 bomb since y'all want to call me a shitter. Anyways, today we're going to be discussing the big problems that are plaguing Fortnite, including Fortnite competitive. I haven't really been playing in cash cups recently. I just, don't play in them. I usually just kind of play pubs for a little while and then get pissed off and get off the game because the game's not fun. But anyways, I did play a cash cup today. Everything was fine. I only had one really big complaint with the whole thing, and that is the giant bushes on the map kind of make for some shitty little hiding spots for bad players. It's not very competitive. I feel like people should just build if they want to, box up. But anyways, we're going to be talking about that more later in the video. So the first thing I really wanted to discuss is the mythic weapons in Fortnite. In pubs, it doesn't really matter quite as much, but I think that definitely for competitive, in any sort of competitive scene, the mythic guns should be only golden weapons, like the drum gun, the Midas drum gun should only in all reality should only be a blue drum gun, and should see some significant nerfs for competitive, because people like Unknown X Army. Not trying to hate on him, I'm just kind of saying that he can jump in anybody's box, and his crosshair will be on someone's head, and it does 50 damage, so 4 shots, just instant death on anybody. What I think a lot of people get pissed off in this game for is not how strong things are, but it's how little they have a chance to defend against it. And what I mean by that is there's some clips of streamers, or some clips that I've even gotten of myself in game, where you will literally have no chance against a lot of players, and that's what pisses people off. Is there's times when you can literally be holding builds, you can be holding your mouse button or your walls and your floors and just spamming them all around you, and you'll be holding these around you constantly, and yet you'll still die. You have absolutely zero chance of living to see the end of the game. You have zero chance of winning. You have zero chance of killing the enemy players. And that's, I feel like, what pisses people off. There's so many issues with the game right now that leave one side of the fight very, very well at the advantage. There's the new invisibility bug that Cypher PK was talking about and Tfue was talking about. It's definitely a real thing, where a lot of the build breaking animations are very overwhelming, and players cannot see their enemies through this animation. They are literally unable to, so the enemy is invisible. And at least for NA West, I know that 88% of the top players on NA West are actually on controller. And I'm not here to bash controllers. Obviously, I don't think that controllers are balanced in any way, but I'm not here to bash on them. At least not too much, anyways. Obviously, they're very strong, but the aim assist actually does track through this. So while the player cannot actually see what is going on, their aim assist will be dragging their crosshair to the enemy player, despite not being able to actually see them. Now, this is very similar to the Legacy issue, where Legacy could actually help you eliminate players not only through walls, but through bushes and cornfields and things like that, and it was extremely overpowered, and people requested and basically begged Epic Games to remove that, because it was just absolutely so overpowered, and you couldn't defend against that. And if you're trying to get some placement points and hide in a bush, obviously very stupid, but still, it's not fair for somebody on a controller to just walk up and kill you through it when he had otherwise no idea of knowing that you were in there. There is absolutely nothing that anybody can say that could make that seem more balanced, more adjusted. it's just essentially wall hacks. That's just cheating. That's not a part of the game that should be there, that was ever intentionally there. Now back to the mythic weapons. They are just so strong. You can't defend against it. There's like, if you're holding walls and you're on more than like 10 ping, you're going to get shot through the walls. You have absolutely no chance. It's not just that you can hold walls and not take every shot through it, but you have almost no chance of stopping your builds to pull out your weapon and shoot the opponent. You have almost no chance of doing that without just getting absolutely obliterated by it. And when people have no chance in a fight, it's pathetic. It makes them feel terrible, and it's why a lot of the professional players and even a lot of casual players have stopped playing this game, or at least get very frustrated with it and smack their desk, punch their monitors, because it just leaves you with this feeling of helplessness. Like, what can I even do in this situation? I feel like a lot of people, when they get genuinely, legitimately outplayed by a better player, they go back to the lobby or they watch a VOD and they say to themselves, what can I do? What can I do about this? What can I do to be better? Why did I do this? Why did I play like that? Like, I should not have done this here. I should have done that there. Should have looked over there. Should have shot there, built there, whatever. But in a situation like with the mythic Tommy gun or mythic drum gun, someone hops in your box, or sorry, Tommy gun or minigun, and someone hops into your box, you lose. You have absolutely no chance of survival when it comes to things like that. You lose. There's nothing you can do. You can try and VOD review all you want, but the only way to get out of that situation alive is to not even ever be in that situation. And I don't think that that's a way that Epic Games should be making Fortnite work. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to pro players. It's not very competitive for the game as a whole. And I mean, I can't imagine anybody who thinks that that's justified, that like, oh, well, you had absolutely no chance, no big deal, like, just get better. That's a dumb way of looking at it, and it's not very true. The next issue I wanted to touch on is the issue with pump shotguns versus tac shotguns. Hold on, let me get a sip of water really quickly. So a lot of people recently have been taking the tac shotguns over the pump shotguns. And this is because the pump shotguns have been just notoriously weak. You'll pump somebody in the head for 20, you'll pump somebody, or your gun just might not even shoot, like you'll click, nothing will happen. This used to only happen to very high ping players, and so these things weren't really touched on by Epic Games, where, you could click and your shotgun just simply would not shoot. Your shotgun would shoot very delayed. It could shoot even up to like a quarter of a second late. Like you would go, hold on. You go click and then it would shoot. Then it shoots. Then it shoots. So it's just, a lot of people didn't really know about this because it only really affected people that were, on very high ping or on like a laggy console. And so it never really got touched on. But now I'm seeing more and more videos and streams of professional players that are in fights and they line up a pump shotgun shot and their pump just will not shoot. Not exactly sure why. I would have to assume that it's either a issue with input delay / input lag, and things just not registering, not responding. You get an invalid response leading to the shotgun not actually shooting. The other assumption is just like ping. Since Fortnite relies solely on server-side responses, that's actually why if your ping is very high, the game will feel really, really slow, really, really laggy, really delayed. Everything you do is just slow, it's behind, it feels off, and that's just because Fortnite chooses to make everything on their game run on server-side responses. Now, that might seem kind of dumb, but in reality, I mean, of course, I don't agree with using that. I think that many more things should be client-side. I can actually explain that. The difference is, if something is server-side, it has to wait for a server response. So if you're playing on, say, 50 ping, and you click for your shotgun to shoot, it will then send a signal to the server that, your shotgun wants to shoot. It will then respond back 50 milliseconds later with a either yes or a invalid, and there's no reason for it to be invalid. It's just it's a bug usually whenever things are like that. And so if, it will shoot. And the higher your ping, the more the delay is between when you actually click and when you shoot. Client side means it's solely on your end. The only way, say, your shotgun wouldn't shoot is if your frame rate is like 10 and you're just lagging around a whole bunch. But, it's obviously a lot better and more fair to the players for things to be client side, but it definitely can, it is more susceptible to hackers and cheaters by doing this. I actually forgot exactly why, but someone did respond to me on the internet a while back and explained to me how this could be beneficial for hackers to avoid getting spotted and, just be able to hack and cheat better in the game. So making things server side is technically fair, despite, of course, high ping players being at the huge disadvantage. But the problem with shotguns not shooting is just a huge issue now. A lot of people have been talking about it recently. If you're on 0 ping, 240 frames, you live right next to the server, you probably won't notice this very much. But, you start getting up into, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 ping, you'll probably start seeing it more and more. Now, this is obviously a huge, huge, huge problem, and I hope that Epic Games does address this. Also, another little bug I wanted to mention is the vehicle exit bug, where sometimes you will hop on Fortnite and say you're in a helicopter or a boat, and, you say you're going to hold E to escape out of the boat or the helicopter, and it simply just does not work. The button just doesn't work because the settings in Fortnite will sometimes automatically unbind your vehicle exit button. It happened to me a few times. I think it's happened to a couple other people. It would be nice if Epic Games looked into this to maybe fix it a little bit. Just see, what the reason for this is. It's not a huge deal, of course, but it is pretty annoying. But yeah, if you guys have experienced this, let me know down below, because I'm kind of curious. I haven't really heard too many people talking about it, so not exactly sure about that. The next thing I wanted to touch on is the map in Fortnite. A lot of people have been complaining about the map. A lot of people have been saying the map is bad. Some people say that we should go back to the old map. And a lot of people are also coming back at those people and saying things like, well, why are you complaining? Like, it's just... y'all wanted a new map. Like, why do you guys dislike this map? Like, Epic Games gave you a new map, but you want to go back to the old one. And there's two reasons for this. When we said we wanted a new map, we didn't necessarily mean that we wanted to lose our current map. We just wanted to see what the other possibilities and options would be. Like, we'd seen creative maps, but what could Epic Games actually make that is, like another Fortnite map? Everybody was curious about that. We weren't just sick and tired of that map. I mean, in Season 9, Season 10, things were extremely cluttered. The map was just full of absolute nonsense with, like, those little bubble areas, like the rift zones or whatever they were called. I mean, interesting idea, not executed very well. Pissed a lot of people off, and the map was cluttered at that time, so we just wanted something new. We didn't really want it to replace the entire map, but when it did, now people are feeling very nostalgic to the old map. What do you guys think about that? I'm kind of curious. I would love to get the old map back, not in replacement to this one, but just as a secondary. I wish you could choose which map you want to play on. I think that would just be very, very fair. The next thing we're going to be talking about is skill-based matchmaking. Skill-based matchmaking is just something that a lot of people do not like. A lot of people also don't know exactly what skill-based matchmaking actually is. Sorry, my mouth is dry. I'm drinking a lot of water. But skill-based matchmaking basically means that depending on how you play in your Fortnite games, if you get on for your first game and you drop 30 kills, and the second game you play, you drop 15, and you're playing like an absolute maniac, beast, professional player, then you will get put into lobbies of people that are your same skill level. It does not mean that you will get, random squad fill or random duo filled up with people that are your same skill level. It means that your opponents are that same skill level. Now, a lot of people don't like this, especially content creators, because they try and do videos like let's see, turning my sensitivity up for every single kill I get. People, they try and do challenges like that, for YouTube content or stream content even, but they're unable to because, they've been playing for a long time. They make these videos every day or two. These people have thousands of wins. They got good stats, like they're good players, but they're just trying to calm down and just, make some fun YouTube content. But when they have to fight extremely sweaty tryhard players, it's just not fun. Like, yeah, of course, they're good players. They can take on the enemies, but yet it's just not as fun for them. Like people like Random, and he's an LG with his friend, Nix and whatever. They're good players, of course, but when they're doing these challenges, they just don't enjoy them because the people they're fighting are just so sweaty, and it's not fun for them. So, Epic Games recently removed skill-based matchmaking from squads, and it means that the lobbies are easier, they're full of less good people, it's just completely random. And I think that removing skill-based matchmaking from every single mode is honestly what has to happen in Fortnite for people to enjoy the game. Because, okay, first of all, before I go any farther, people might comment and be like, well, you're just bad, like, just get good. It's not about that. It's not about being bad. It's not about getting dogged on by better players all the time. It's about the game not being fun for any casual players with good stats. Like, there's times, at 2 in the morning, if I'm watching a TV show and I'm like, hey, I kind of want to play some Fortnite. I don't really want to sweat my balls off. I kind of just want to play and have some fun. And I hop on, and everyone's just sweating and trying so hard, and all these kids are on zero ping or have controller aim. It's not fun. It's not fun for me. It's not fun for a lot of people. So Epic Games silently removed skill-based matchmaking to see if we would notice. Obviously, we did. The lobbies are so much more fun. People like Tim the Tatman have been considering coming back to playing Fortnite. A lot of people have just been having a lot more fun in squads. So I feel like in the near future, maybe in Chapter 2, Season 3, Epic Games might just fully go on all out and remove skill-based matchmaking. That will be super awesome for pubs because pubs should not have this. It adds this really annoying competitive vibe to pubs, which really in reality should not be there. If you want to play against people of your same skill level, go play Arena. Arena's made for it. You have, you have the points, you have the siphon, you have everything. It makes it awesome. It's so much more fun to play pubs just with your friends, calm, casual, fun gameplay. And here's the 30 bomb, by the way, but I still have more stuff to talk about, so we're just going to throw on a random Twitch streamer in the background as just gameplay content, whatever. Let's just watch Booga, whatever. Here's a Bud Light ad for you guys. But yeah, skill-based matchmaking is kind of boring. It just makes the game not very fun to play for casuals, pro players, everything. People don't play pubs, because if you want to play against sweaty tryhard players, why wouldn't you play in Arena? Arena has Siphon, after all. I mean, it's just more fun. More fun to play Arena, stacked late games. You're playing against actual pros, getting tournament practice. You have Siphon, moving zones. Like, it's so much better to just, flat out just play Arena. And that's just why I think that they should be removing skill-based matchmaking. But what do you guys think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I think that pubs are just, best as they are, as public lobbies. You put everybody together, regardless of skill level. The next thing I wanted to touch on was forced crossplay between PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, mobile, and Switch. It's not actually confirmed whether mobile and Switch go against PC players in pubs. It would take a very, very, very good mobile player And a lot of mobile players are obviously not quite as good as PC players. That's just a fact. Um, and so a lot of people don't like this because, let's be honest, console players and PC players play very differently. Console players are just by default not as good as PC players. If you're a good console player, I believe you. There are some very good console players, like Nick Merckx for a long time was a console player. And I mean, of course, well, nowadays he can't keep up with the other professionals. He still was an insane console player. There really are some good console players, but as a whole, the console community is just not as skillful as the whatchamacallit, as the PC audience is. And so it makes kind of no sense to match up console players with PC players because, especially, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say this from other people's point of view. Controller is very, very strong. That's just a fact. It's strong. So, for people to go against controller players, they don't like that. People think that it's aimbot, it's hacking. They don't want to fight those people. They want to fight other people that are on keyboard and mouse. And I think that is how the lobbies should be segregated between keyboard and mouse and controller. So, controller on PC people are fighting against controller on console, and keyboard players of PC or console are matched together as well. I think the lobbies should either be separated by input or by ping. I think that in the beginning of each game, or like when you click ready up, it should scan for your ping to the server you're playing on and match you with players of within, say, 20 ping in either direction, of either 20 ping higher or 20 ping lower. So you won't get matched up with these super sweaty tryhard zero ping players if you're unfortunate enough to live in South Africa where there are no servers and you have to play on 250 ping. Unfortunate, you don't really have a chance. I obviously feel bad for those people that play on high ping constantly because they don't live in a place with good servers. Like, I live in Colorado. I get a minimum of 50 to 60 ping all the time. It's very unfortunate for me and other people that, don't live near a server. I think that ping-based matchmaking could be very nice for pubs, or maybe just an LTM. I don't know how well that would actually turn out. It's up to speculation. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments. The other way I mentioned briefly for lobbies to be separated is via input. I think that's fine. In pubs, maybe they should be splitting it between controller and keyboard, regardless of the system they play on. It would just be very fair, because going against people who play on another input, you have to play completely differently. Because let's be honest, if you are playing in say a box fight or a 1v1 against somebody who is on controller, you will play much different from somebody who is on a keyboard. And that might seem kind of weird, but it's just a fact that if you know what input they play on and you're a good player, you're going to be playing different, and here's why. Because if you're going against a keyboard and mouse player, you can crank to the sky, you can have yourself a completely fair build fight. But going against somebody who's on a controller, that likely, since their building and editing mechanics are just not as fast, given that they're on a controller, it's just not as good, that you have to be building more and editing more and playing smarter to avoid getting absolutely lasered. Every single build you make has to be completely and totally protected, because that if you peek out for even a second, you could lose all of your shield and almost all of your health. So you have to play very differently, and I feel like in pubs, or even in competitive, if you know what input you're going against, it could make fighting much more simple for both sides. You don't have to wonder, and you could either just guess and start cranking to the sky and get lasered, possibly, or you could get it right and then good for you. If none of that made any sense, I'm sorry, it was kind of hard to explain, but if you guys did get it, great. But yeah, what do you guys think about that stuff? What do you guys think? I also don't think that every single lobby should be just mixed. Everybody, everybody's mixed together, all inputs, all systems, everyone's just mixed together. especially with skill-based matchmaking. It just kind of ruins the whole vibe of everything. It's just not as good. The next thing I wanted to talk about is LTMs. A lot of LTMs are not currently in Fortnite. They haven't really been releasing any. There's like that new payload thing that came out like a month and a half ago, I think. I don't even know, honestly, when it came out. A lot of people haven't been playing it. A lot of people have no idea what it is. I've never even played it. I just heard that it's not very good, so I don't play it. A lot of LTMs have not come back, like the floor is lava. At least a couple people that I know really, really, really enjoy the floor is lava, and they would play the game significantly more if that came back to the game, because they just had a lot of fun with it. And I think it's kind of odd how Epic Games, they used to rotate the LTMs, every couple days, and there was always something to play. If you didn't feel like playing, pubs or arena, you could play, just in a fun LTM. But those just, they don't exist anymore. Like, there's so many good ones. I think even some of them should be permanent. Like, I think, there's ones like Sneaky Silencers, like her headshots only, Ground War, those should all be LTMs. But I think, bigger ones, Playground was originally an LTM until they made it permanent and then released creative. But, there's more completely game-differing ones, like Floor is Lava, that I feel like some people would really enjoy seeing these modes be permanent, and Epic Games it would lose nothing by making these modes permanently accessible to all players. If you want to play this mode, then go play it. I understand that, especially with the Floor is Lava specifically, it could make things quite a bit more difficult because the map doesn't have as many specific high points on it. The map is just less suited for an LTM like that. But I mean, hey, they could bring back the old map just for Floor is Lava. I mean, that would still be kind of cool. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think they would do that? What do you guys think about the Floor is Lava? I think that certain game-changing LTMs would be super fun to have as permanent modes, just as something to calm down with. And let's be honest here, creative game modes just are not the same. Ones that are made by even people like RJW, the box fight map guy, or Pandville, these are good maps, but people just, they don't want to hop into creative to have fun playing the game. They just want to play the game, like with LTMs that Epic Games has made, the ones that aren't riddled with bugs, the ones that are just perfectly well made, the ones that function as they should, like one shot. One shot with the snipers is a fun mode. I actually got my first 20 bomb in that mode. It's fun. I think that certain game modes should be permanent, or solid gold. That's probably my favorite LTM ever, because it reduces all the RNG to nothing. It means that the game is just strictly up to skill, because everybody has the exact same loadout for the most part. I think that things like that should be permanent. Again, what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with that? Do you guys, not agree with that? Like, what other LTMs would you guys like to see come back, or even be permanent maybe in the future? Yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. The next thing I wanted to touch on is the map in Fortnite. Now, we're not going to be talking about, the old map coming back, whatever. We're talking about the map currently flooding that is going on in Epic Game, or not in Epic Games, in Fortnite. That I know BCC Trolling did a video on it, how at the gas station by Frenzy Farm, I believe it was, there is a small puddle of water signifying that the map is flooding. Now, a lot of people might be like, well, that's kind of dumb, who cares, nobody really cares, just a flood in the game. But people have been really speculating about this for a long time, ever since, Season 6, Season 7, maybe even earlier. People have been speculating that at least one time in the future, the map could end up flooding. Ever since, Season 7, people assumed that Season 7 into Season 8, that the giant ice block, the giant icy part of the map that had frosty flights in all these places, would melt and the map would flood for Season 8. But that of course did not happen. But now the map could be flooding. They might be, phasing out this map and bringing out a whole new one. Possibly. I don't know. I would doubt it. But, it's just... it's just what's going on? The map is clearly flooding. You can look up clips of it on YouTube. I mean, that's just what's happening. So, will the whole map flood? Is that going to be like the theme, like a water theme for Season 3 going into the summertime? It does release on June 4th, unless they delay it again, which, knowing Epic Games, probably will. But, assuming it does release on June 4th, that is summertime. That is usually after everybody's out for the summer. An awesome summertime LTM like Season 5, with maybe some of the Season 5 POIs, maybe some Season 5 reskins, Season 5 LTMs, more of a tropical beach, type vibe, with also like a lot of water, like swimming themes, and a lot of people I think would really enjoy that, and it would be super fun. People have also been creating renders of like partially underwater houses, since all those, no sweat insurance signs that used to be in Tilted are showing up at random places across the map. People are speculating that these buildings are the ones that are going to survive the Season 3 flood. And, I mean, hey, that's a good idea. There's a video on Reddit of someone who made like an underwater house concept, and I think that could be really, really cool for Fortnite. But yeah, what do you guys think about all this? I think I've covered everything. If I didn't, I'll make another video as a follow-up to this one. But these are just my thoughts and the current state of Fortnite with how everything's been going recently. A lot of problems that I've talked about. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about before I end the video is touching on the whole subject of Zenon again. That video has about 3,000 views in the first 2 days, the most successful video I've put out ever. Not the most total successful, but the most views in the quickest amount of time. A lot of comments, a lot of people that don't seem to understand here what I'm saying about this situation. I never meant it to come off that I am hating on this kid, that I'm just saying he's a bot and he doesn't deserve to play the game. That's obviously not what I'm saying. But I'm not a fan of Zenon, and let me explain why. The clip of him being banned was actually wrong. That didn't happen. He is only prevented from doing professional tournaments, like professional scrims and cash cups, because he's not legally eligible to. That's not me hating on him. That's just a fact. That's the rules of the game. Now, a lot of people are like, well, he's just a kid, let him enjoy the game. He can enjoy the game. He can enjoy streaming, making all the money off his stream and off his YouTube, but he can play arena, he can play pubs. He just cannot take money away from people by going against the Fortnite rules and regulations. Now, a lot of people online are going absolutely insane that they are coming at me and attacking me because I'm not praising this kid. A lot of people have been absolutely adoring this kid because, he got banned. He started crying online after lying to people. We'll touch on that in a minute. He was lying to people about getting banned when in reality he really wasn't. And people that have never heard of him before are coming out and just being, extremely in favor of him and, free Zenon, free whatever. But they had no idea who he was. They just don't want to seem like an asshole to this kid who cried online. And unfortunately, I'm heartless and don't have a soul, so I'm just going to say what happens as it happens. He broke the rules. He was playing for money in cash cups, in tournaments, in professional tournaments, and he cannot do that as a 9-year-old. It's against the rules. He got banned. I don't think that he should be unbanned from cash cups and tournaments. The next thing is he was not banned from arena. I am aware that you don't make money in arena, but making money in cash cups is against the rules, and you can't do that. So that's why I was saying that he should not be unbanned. Now, the next thing, me saying that he's not very good, people seem to take that out of context. I'm saying in the context of professional competitive Fortnite on the 3 competitive servers worldwide, which are NA West, NA East, and Europe. I'm not saying that there aren't good players from other regions. Like, I mean, I'm sure Middle East has some insanely good players. Never heard of any, but, I'm sure they're good. There's some insane professionals on Oceania, like Mr. Fresh Asian. There's insane people on, West, Falconer, Arkram, Rex, Epic Whale. East has Booga, Clicks, Tifu, Scoped, Av, all these people. But every server has their prodigies, but when I was saying he's bad, I don't necessarily mean that he is just a complete bot player, but I'm saying that he would not be able to hold his own ground in a competitive scene against the best of the best in the world. Sure, for Brazil servers as a 9-year-old, he's good. Sure, that's fine. Whatever. I don't really watch Brazil. I just know that, I've played on Brazil. I've seen some Brazil scrims. I've seen the competition on Brazil is not very strong. You don't really have to worry about too many people that, are insane crackhead editing, triple editing through and, no scoping, all this, whatever, crazy, insane players. You don't have to worry about that as much on Brazil because Brazil just doesn't have the competition. Listen, I'm not racist because I'm saying that Brazil doesn't have competition. I'm saying that because it's just a fact. Watch the videos, watch the streams. Sure, for a 9-year-old, he's good. Whatever. For Brazil servers, he's cracked. I don't know. I don't care. I'm saying that compared to the best in the world, he could not hold his ground. And in relation to that, he is 9 years old. He doesn't have the competitive knowledge or experience to actually, stand his ground against these people that have been playing competitive shooters for years or even decades. I mean, people like Tifu, he's like 25 or something. Who even cares? He's been playing shooter games since, like, before Zenon was even born. So, like, he doesn't have the mental, I guess, like, I don't know, capacity and experience to understand how to play the game on a truly professional level against the best in the world that have so much more time and experience. And that's what I was saying. I guess I didn't explain that nearly as well in the last video, and some people got really pissy with me. But that's just how it is. That's what's going on in Fortnite. Anyways, I've been kind of rambling on. Not really. I was talking for 40 minutes. It's insane. Tell me what you guys think down below. Please, don't just be an asshole. Don't tell me to go to hell because you don't agree with me. If you don't agree with something that I say, let's be adults about it. Let's be mature adults. Let's have a conversation. Don't just say, fuck you, in the comments because you don't like me or don't agree with what I'm saying. If you have a problem with the video, then, tell me. Don't just be an asshole. We can talk about things like mature people. If you don't like something I said in the video, then, we can talk about that. But don't just leave a dislike and get out of here because you don't like me. I mean, leave a dislike if you don't agree with what I'm saying or you don't like the way I came off or presented something. Anyways, guys, that's basically all I had to say. I used my own gameplay for a video like you guys were begging me to do. So anyways, peace out. Hope you guys have a good day. And please do leave a comment with input and feedback on what you guys think about the current state of Fortnite. And peace out. Hope you guys enjoy Season 3.